Thibs is all about the defense. And just ask Sharif Cooper if Deuce plays good D. you know, he has elite lateral movement. He's a dog. Those 6'9" arms. He made a couple of dunks, Deuce, there, and we'll get into it in a second. But he surprised me because of that wingspan. He dunked the ball faster than I thought he would. That arm just goes up. But I absolutely think that what I said about minutes, that I could see Miles taking minutes from Q, man, because as you see, he shot 50% from three. He has a sweet. You want to get into Miles now?
Yeah. No, continue. You
Yeah,
flowing, Posse. Do you?
so he has a sweet mid-range jumper, Miles. So everything we just said, he doesn't have a float. He has a classic mid-range jumper, and he has a beautiful step back to Miles. So he shoots well from three. He shoots well from two. He's a tough kid. I love that he had a tough shooting game, and he comes back the next game and shakes that off. Short memory. That's what you need in this league, man. And also hit a crunch time shot. Loved it. You know what, Alton? You brought up Obi before. One of the things a lot of people didn't talk about the summer league about Miles is he took the inbound pass and he had really long, up court passes to get the transition going. This is the first point guard in a long time we've had a guard like that. We had Frank that basically would pick up his dribble after half court. We didn't have a lot of. So this kid, I could see him changing the tempo very quickly. He has very good vision. And I said this in the video with JD that I think he's going to be a much better playmaker in the pros than he was at West Virginia because of the spacing of the NBA and everything. So his D is NBA ready. So and this is the crazy thing is if it gets the crunch time and stuff, a backcourt of D Rose and Deuce is going to be a lot better defensively than a backcourt of D Rose and Quick. And as we just saw in the summer league, and we saw you shot 41% in college, if Miles can hit the three like Q does, and he plays superior defense, Q better be on top of his game because this kid is hungry, and I love this kid. So, and it's funny, several months ago, I was on Ron Cleveland's show. Shout out, Ron, if you're listening. We love you. And a few months ago, I said, and I think I shared it with you, that I absolutely said, he said, who do you like at point guard? And I went, second round, there's only one point guard in the first round. That's Jalen Suggs. I love that guy. That's an all-star for 10 years. But in the second round, I love Miles McBride, and when they called his name, I was like, oh, New York fans are going to love this kid. They're going to love this kid. And, hey, matter of fact, you and I, we're friends. I shared with you before you left for Vegas. I said, hey, watch, McBride's going to be a revelation. That's the word I used to you. He's going to be and sure enough, man, I love this kid's game. So Gregory Lee. McBride is more a natural point guard, but sometimes he just needs to make earlier reads and also learn not to go ISO too much. Absolutely, Gregory. That's a great, and that's he's still getting West Virginia out of his bloodstream. That's what he did in college. He dribbled a whole lot. He took a lot on his shoulders. But those are what rookies go through, is learning that. And when you have Thibs and also the thing Johnny Bryant, the point guard whisperer, I'm just looking for his development. And I'm telling you, they give this kid minutes. Quickly, you better watch out, son. This kid is hungry, and I love his shot too. Beautiful arc. It's not a line drive. It's a nice shot. He's high 80% free throw shooter. Yo, man, this is a great acquisition, draft choice by us.
Yeah, McBride was doing his thing in summer league. He had averages of 15.2 points per game, 3.5 rebounds per game, also averaged 3.5 assists per game, and he shot 53% from the field, 50% from three, and as you said, high 80% from free throw line at 88%. I like McBride. I really wasn't. He wasn't on my radar heading into the draft, to be honest with you. I did have a few subscribers that were mentioning his names in the comment, and you, Foxy, as well, behind scenes. You also mentioned him to me, but from what I've seen, I was able to see him in person when I was out there in Vegas. Everything you're saying is true. He plays hard nosed defense. He had, Cooper tapping out when we played against the Hawks in that last game on Monday. And the fact that he's able to knock down that three consistently is important to me. One of the things I harp on this channel is being able to shoot over 40%. And I know we've been talking about it being a difficult environment in summer league playing with new teammates, but you mentioned it earlier, shooting should not go. You should still be able to knock down your open looks, and he was able to knock down wide open shots as well as contested looks. So if he's able to be a 3-and-D option out there at the guard position, I think he adds a lot of value that you're not going to get from someone like an Emmanuel Quickley, who may be a defensive liability. So it's going to be interesting training camp, interesting preseason to see some of the battles heading into next season. And if Thibs gives minutes to the people that earn minutes, I think some people may be surprised who ends up in the rotation to start next season.
That, and also I said it earlier, um, clutch players. He hit, it's a summer league game, but he hit a tough shot. He hit it in crunch time when he needed to hit a shot. He hit it, and I just love with Kemba and D Rose there. This kid has an encyclopedia to learn from these two guys, and they look totally cool. They're real secure where they are in their career right now. So for them sharing, teaching him, I could see that besides, our development staff really accelerating his growth and, the stuff that Gregory Lee brought up earlier about him making the reads and stuff like that between the coaching, him just getting more reps and also just having a D Rose and having a Kemba there. I just see this kid growing leaps and bounds and nothing against Quickley. But this is, an all around game. And if this kid already is playing very good defense, and like we said, Sharif Cooper, with all his issues about shooting and with all the other things, one of the things he had trouble finishing, but he didn't have trouble getting to the hole. But with his lateral quickness, he disrupts those type of players. So it's going to be really interesting when we play Trey and we play Atlanta to see if Thibs, if Trey is doing Trey, that he finally says, all right, man, he's feasting. Let me see what Miles can do. Trey's going to still feast on Miles. That's how good he is. But let's say he'll feast a little less. Trey is an elite player, and you have to give him his due. But you know, I think this kid could do it. When I watched him in college, Davion Mitchell had just an unbelievable year, national champion, played on a great team, Jared Butler and others. He gave both Butler, but also Davion Mitchell, who has probably the best first step in this past draft. I think he was the All Star of the summer league this year, the MVP, co MVP. He gave him trouble, and everyone saw the footage of him against a 6'7" Cade, which was a mismatch, and yet he gave Cade issues. So as he learns the game, he learns the refs, he learns everything. Wow, I'm excited, man. Hey, let's just do a quick shout out to our family. Julian Blum, my brother, how are you? Into the Knicks versus George. Scrimmages are going to be fire. I agree with you, man, on all of them. I want to see, I'd love to be a fly on the wall to watch those. Ron Cowan, always supporting everyone. Great comments in the videos and stuff like that. Ron, thank you so much for all your support. Like you said, Michael Jones, Knicks 100A GM, Kenneth Hayes. We're going way more threes this season. Yeah, we shot great last year. We just were one of the lowest amount of 3-point shooters in the league last year. is so those are the things that we're looking. Rich boy, how are you? Deuce has high IQ. He does have a very high IQ, and his interviews. I love this kid. Excuse the term vibe, but I love his vibe, man. He's intelligent. He has a family that played hoops. I think his dad was Harlem Globetrotters and a few other things. So really, really, impressed with him.
What role, what role do you think Miles McBride is going to have on this team as we head into the season? Is he going to be part of the rotation? Do you think he'll be part of Tibbs's 9-10 man rotation, or do you think he's going to be situational? He's going to just be used, like, let's say Trae Young is out there going crazy, the same way we wanted Frank to go in and be a defensive stopper. Do you think Thibs is going to use Miles McBride in that kind of role?
I think he'll be situational at first, but the first injuries, the first, like you said, um, I think Tibbs. Last year everyone, Tibbs don't play rookies. Quickly proved that was wrong. McBride, I think he'll even prove it even more because of his defense. That he's not going to be chucking like crazy. He's going to be doing a lot of things on the court. So if Kemba, whether it's injury, whether it's just minutes management, I definitely think it'll start situational, and I wouldn't be surprised by the halfway point of the season he's part of the rotation. Where those 5 minutes that I said that maybe that Quick will get out of the 48 minutes, let's say Kemba and D Rose do 42 or so minutes. I wouldn't be surprised that Miles may take those other minutes, and Quick will be strictly at the shooting guard, doing still doing point guard, where the play allows it. But I definitely see him by midseason maybe becoming a part of this rotation. First starting off situational, proving himself. I just don't think between D Rose and Kemba that we're going to go this season without one of them or both of them at one point or the other spending a little time on the bench with healing an injury, an ankle, or just management.
Yep.
And I think it's just going to, next man up, and I think this kid's ready for it.
So I believe the chat agrees with you. They're saying part of the rotation, 65%.